Hi everyone. I wanted to provide some information on insurable interest. Insurable interest is an important concept in the insurance industry. It's also a topic that can have a number of exam questions in the Pennsylvania State insurance examination. First off, the definition of insurable interest is that the interest a person has in the life or property which may cause that person a financial loss. So it's two parts. First, they have to have interest, and secondly, they have to have the potential for a financial loss. Why is it important? It is an insurance industry requirement. It is a basic requirement in the insurance policy, and it is in the standard documents of all insurance policies in the state of Pennsylvania. The primary reason that it's a requirement, though, is to avoid the possibility that one person could do speculative wagering in the life or property that they have no interest in. So they can't take an insurance policy out assuming something's going to happen to somebody else and then collect if that occurred because they have no interest in that event. And the insurance industry wants to minimize the potential for the speculative wagering to occur. Okay, so how's it applied by the insurance industry? First off, in terms of a claim, there's two things that have to occur. First off, and this is part of the definition, a loss must occur for a claim to be made. And secondly, the person making the claim has to have insurable interest in the situation. And the insurable interest has to exist at the time of the loss for coverage to be afforded. In other words, a person can buy the insurance policy, a person can carry the insurance policy, but they cannot collect on the insurance policy if they don't have insurable interest at the time that the loss occurs. Okay, so what are some examples of insurable interest? Well, the first example that I'll offer here is that an individual buys a dwelling policy on a barn owned by a cousin in a different state. A tornado destroys the barn. Did insurable interest exist at the time of the claim? Yes or no? The answer is no. It didn't matter that the individual was in a different state. It didn't matter that they were a cousin. It didn't even matter that there was a tornado. What simply mattered was that they didn't own anything. They didn't own the barn. They had no reasonable stake in the circumstance, so therefore they had no insurable interest, and they cannot collect on that dwelling policy if the barn is destroyed. Another example is that an ex-wife is listed as a beneficiary on an ex-husband's insurance policy. In other words, the parties are no longer married, but the ex-wife still is the beneficiary of the policy, and the husband dies, the ex-husband dies. Does the ex-wife have insurable interest in her husband's insurance policy at the time of the claim? The answer is yes, she does, because she's a beneficiary. It doesn't matter that they weren't married. It's not material. What's material was that she was a named beneficiary in the policy and therefore had insurable interest and was able to collect on the claim. The final example is a father is a co-signer on his daughter's car loan. The car is totaled in an accident that his daughter was at fault. Does the father have insurable interest at the time of the claim? And the answer is yes, the father did, because the father had a financial potential for a financial loss because the car is being totaled. Somebody's going to have to reconcile the car with the financing company, and since the father is listed on that document, he would also have to be considered as part of the claim. So what do we want to make sure that we know for the insurance exam? Again, that's why we're here. What type of what do we want to learn about insurable interest for the licensing exam? Well, the first thing that we want to know is the definition. And again, recognize that There has to be a ability for a loss to occur, and the person who's doing the insuring has to be able to make a claim that they have some potential for the loss. Why is it important to the insurance industry? Again, it's part of all insurance contracts in Pennsylvania, and it's an important requirement because the industry simply wants to avoid this non-risk late wagering that could occur if insurable interest was not part of the policy. And finally, how's it applied? Again, insurable interest must exist at the time of the loss, and therefore and that's really when the situation the claim can be paid if insurable interest exists at the time of the loss. So thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful to you, and make sure that you do a lot of careful reading when you're learning about insurable interest.